Okay, the first story is Dauntless Hail Mary, how the Awakening update killed off Monster Hunter like Dauntless and maybe even Phoenix Lab. We talked about this briefly a couple of weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, okay, where I played Dauntless. I have over 200 hours in Dauntless, okay? Love the game. I started playing back 4 or 5 years ago. I loved it. It was a much more casual-based Monster Hunter, okay? I didn't get into the Monster Hunter games until Monster Hunter World and Dauntless, and Monster Hunter World was a little bit more daunting, even though I loved it, okay? But when I stopped playing Monster Hunter World, it was hard to jump back in because it was more complex or whatnot. Dauntless was that feeling game that you got into that was just much easier to get into, right? It was just much easier. You didn't have to worry about so much. You didn't have to learn so much. It was like more of an arcadey Monster Hunter, okay? They went through a couple of changes throughout the years, and it made it better. But then recently, they got bought out. In 2023, they got bought out by a not a Bitcoin. Was it a Bitcoin company? It's not a Bitcoin. It's I forget what it's called. Was it an NTF company or is it Bitcoin? I think it's a Bitcoin. Okay, but they completely changed the model of what the game is. Okay, they started removing, or they didn't start removing. They removed everyone's weapon. Crypto. Thank you, Krebsy. So they removed all the weapons from the game. They changed it completely. Basically, what's my number one rule? Those of you that watch me every single day, what's my number one rule as a gamer, right? What does the company have to do? Okay, I'll give it a couple seconds to see if people put it in chat, and then I'll say it. Okay, you have to respect the player's time. Okay, that's my number one rule. I don't care what you make, you just got to respect the player's time. And respecting the player's time is that when I put my time in, 200 hours plus into Dauntless, okay, and you take everything away from me, okay, why should I give you more time? Why should I do anything for you when you just shit over my time? You get my money and you get my time. My time is much more valuable than my money because I can do a lot of shit in my time and I can only do certain amount of money with my money. So my time is the most respected thing, okay? So respect my time. They took everything away. So once touted as by Epic Games as Fortnite fame, the free-to-play Monster Hunter-like Dauntless services are a cautionary tale of all companies building live service games. The free-to-play game market is both saturated and varied. It was also coming to a mind for many Epic Games' juggernaut battle royale game, Fortnite, but there's also other fulfilled certain niche genres. From the titles such as Genshin Impact to capture the feeling of Nintendo's Breath of the Wild in the cuteness anime style, or all the way to Destiny 2 from Bungie's concerned with the looter-shooter market, with millions of calling it home for over the years. But in 2018, developer Phoenix Labs opened its doors to the beta for its free-to-play Monster Hunter competitor, Dauntless. Dauntless was a very interesting concept back then when it originally launched and take the format to a widely popular series from Capcom, streamlined it, many in the systems, added an easy-to-digest art style, and throw in a standard cosmetic-focused monetization system for good measure, and Dauntless aimed to be a more accessible, more casual version of legendary Monster Hunter franchise, which gains its next entry in just a few short weeks with Monster Hunter Wilds. So Dauntless may seem obscure to most of you, but the years that may thrived, and the game acquired over 15 million players after leaving its open beta in 2019, keeping the player base engaged in the cool ideas, escalation, which allowed players to run a gauntlet of many different behemoths and slay cooperative play. Dauntless weapons prestige system let players go to an extra mile to improving weapons that they held dear, that they earned, right? You had to earn the materials, like if you ever played a Monster Hunter game, right? You had to earn the materials to make the weapons, to make the armor. Okay, put your time in, put that grind in. From its open beta in 2018 all the way to 2023, Dauntless was rising star, enjoying constant positive feedback from its community until things started to go awry. Okay, in 2024, there was also an eerie silence from Phoenix Labs leading up to the launch of the next big update titled The Awakening. Okay, on December 5th, 2024, while the update boasted a cool new behemoth on the island to explore, like many other updates, one of the more exciting features that the players would also be allowed to equip 2 different weapons. You could equip 2 different weapons, but we didn't want everyone to operate with both weapons, so we took the weapons away from you, gave you back 2 or 3, and then you had to purchase all the rest back after we converted your other stuff into currency that you had to go back and buy the actual weapon. Make the game mechanic, make the problem, sell the solution. So one more thing feature that the players would be allowed to equip 2 different weapons and swap on the fly to match the situation that they are in, something competitor Monster Hunter Wilds is adding as well. So, not my hunting grounds. Dauntless was brought to Steam with the launch of the update, breaking free of its Epic Games Prison Steam's community system, helped paint a clearer picture of the update's reception. Okay, Awakening has been met with overwhelming negative reviews and even similar to review bombing on Xbox. This is not leaving out the fact that the current daily player count of Dauntless on Steam sits below a few hundred according to SteamDB, although that it doesn't necessarily reflect the full active player base across the Xbox, PlayStation, Epic Game Store on PC. Either way, the heart of the backlash is the undeniable player exodus lies a very ugly truth. Awakening removed a lot of what made Dauntless a quality alternative to Monster Hunter it once was. Many build a crafting option where it removed such of the lanterns, and players could also use the unique abilities to synergize to certain playstyles. Phoenix Labs also removed the aforementioned prestige system for weapons alongside a lot of the available weapons players could earn in-game. One beloved feature that players enjoyed for many years is the cell fusion system was also removed, and this system allowed access cells, which functioned like gems in other MMOs, to be fused together to get higher rarity versions of that greatly affected different builds. But one of the most baffling decisions of the update was the fact that the studio removed 5 different islands from the game. Okay, so again, respect my time. You gave me all these islands, you gave me all these things, you gave me all those stuff, you took everything away from me, right? They took this away from me, okay? And as a result, a lot of the visual variety of local locations found themselves abandoned on the cutting room floor. If removing many locations, weapons, crucial aspects of the game, and did not cut deep enough, they salted the wounds with a full reset of every player's progression in Dauntless. This is a death of the game. Tell me you know nothing about video games without telling me you know nothing about video games. Hey, I'm the new owner. You know what we should do? What is that? What is that? Oh, is that 5 island? 5 island? Yeah, can you take 4 of those away? Oh, what is that? Weapons? 10 weapons? Can you take 7 of those weapons away? Can you take the XP? Oh, yeah, get rid of that too. Oh, this is great. I love being a game designer. I love being an owner of a studio, you morons. Okay, hey, Dauntless, where's my stuff? Exactly what I said. It's exactly what I said. I was like, where is my stuff? Okay, while every player's cosmetic purchases were carried over in the Awakening update, only a select few items were kept. Oh, that's nice. Okay, by players when they logged back in, such as the exotic weaponry that put skilled players to the test the craft and select resources from Behemoth. The idea of starting over in an online game can sound good to a veteran player. It could be a nostalgic walk down memory lane for some. However, Dauntless does not feature multiple character options, and the reset was forced onto every player without the serious discussion, costing everyone hundreds of hours of progress. This is no doubt the root cause of the negative reception of The Awakening. You think? You think that's the reason? Okay. When reading through the reviews of Steam, the top review is from, before I even read on to that, okay, I would rather have a game closed down like Battleborn or The Crew, where I can no longer play the game because I have no choice, than to have my game torn apart and just left there and be like, well, you can still play it. Be like, yeah, but there's nothing left of it. You literally took everything away from me and then said, here you go. It's like taking a notebook, ripping out 900 pages and leaving one page that's torn and hand it back to the kid and be like, give me a book report. It's like, but I only write small. Okay, so when reading through the reviews on Steam, the top reviewer is from a player who put in 500 hours into the game on the Nintendo Switch before he was available on Steam. They lamented the loss of their weapons, armor sets, lanterns, the high rarity cells. It did not end there, though, as they were happy to invest money into the game through the battle passes, but now turned off by the weapons are paywalled in the microtransaction store. Okay, this is also a major point of contention for the community. For years, Dauntless relied on cosmetics and battle passes to keep the studio afloat. Here's a little secret, not really a secret, I've been upfront about it. I said, this is the first game that I paid for a microtransaction. Dauntless was the first I paid for a microtransaction. I didn't pay for one item. It was the first battle pass I ever bought. It was the first battle pass I ever bought. I put so much time into the game because I loved it and leveled it all the way up to the thing. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to give him the money. And I gave him the money. I was like, this is a good system. I was like, I like it because I enjoyed the game. I don't pay any microtransactions up front. I still, to this day, like right now, I'm still working towards the battle pass in Marvel Rivals. I haven't given them the money yet. If I have the time and complete it, then I'll pay for it. Okay. With weapon tokens, these weapon tokens can only be earned through weekly bounties, okay, in the game to purchase it with money, creating a feeling of missing out on the weapons that might be not rotate back into the shop in adequate time, right? So they added FOMO on top of that. They added that you can only get them whenever they feel like letting you get them, and you can only make a certain amount of XP and stuff weekly with weekly bounty. Okay? One final thing that's worth noting is how the leveling system for weapons has been severely slowed down. Before Awakening, players could level up weapons through traditional gameplay methods. While this is also still true, after a certain point, the experience required to fully leveled up a weapon can only be earned at a reasonable rate via a new resource called whatever. Okay, and similar to the systems found in the gacha games, which involves heavily grinding or gambling or real money, 3 tiers of this, okay, resources exist, and they can also be spent and select weapons to level it up quicker. Right? Creating an endgame leveling system focused grinding out the rarity item is also buying them and reduce the value of the actual engaging the core gameplay loop and actually slaying monsters. Dauntless is suffering from many self-inflicted wounds right now, making short-sighted decisions that the company never would have also passed, leaving one big question with multiple answers. What happened to Phoenix Labs? And they led them to this point. Well, I'm going to say that they wanted to sell their company to make more money, right? To make more money. And then they sold their business to the wrong person. And the wrong person came in and completely destroyed you from the inside out, sort of like a cancer. So Phoenix Labs, after 2020, was originally owned by a company called Garena Games. And the partnership at the time did not affect the operations, allowing Phoenix Labs to still develop Dauntless and release the Fae Farm in 2023. However, previous publishing deal with Epic Games saw the title prelude of the Steam for years, potentially preventing it from hitting variety status. May of last year, Phoenix Labs suffered over 100 layoffs, leaving the studio in rougher shape before the Awakening update went live. On top of that, this October last year, reports of the game developers revealed that Phoenix Labs was secretly bought by a company known as Forte Labs. In 2023, the acquisition was meant to remain a secret amongst the employees, which may hint of the potential shifts in vision behind the scenes. Okay, if we mix both of the layoffs and the climate of around the acquisition, the picture being painted is not pretty. I like how the acquisition was meant to remain secret amongst the employees. Awesome. With the IRE and the community of the large, significant drops of player numbers, with delay of the next big update, Umbral Reign, Phoenix Labs is now faced with even more layoffs. In a post-official Phoenix Labs LinkedIn profile, they announced that most of their studio was let go. Now, while players are still waiting for clarity for what the layoffs it will mean for the future of the game, Phoenix Labs is on the death's door and might not have the development staff to make things right. It would take a miracle for what remains of Phoenix Labs to turn things around and rise from the ashes. As it's there, the damage is done, may simply be too great. Well, here's what's going to happen. Phoenix Labs, which loved you, Phoenix Labs. Big fan of you. Play the game. Love the game. 100 hours. Thought it was great. Okay. Well, you sold your soul to the devil, okay? And now your game is going to die. And when your game dies, you're also going to lose your job. I hope it was worth it. I hope that the 15 million people that played your game, that loved your game, and slowly had, diminishing returns because slowly you kept destroying your game, was worth it. I have no remorse. I'm not one of these people that says, well, you got to pay for it to keep the lights on, because obviously I did. I paid my share. I liked your game. I played your game. I bought the battle passes when I completed those things. I did my part as a gamer, right? I bought the game, played the game, enjoyed your game, but you failed fundamentally as a developer and as a company for the people that were giving you money for your game. Right? You decided to make a free-to-play game. You didn't make it last because you changed it up. You sold your soul to the cryptocurrency people over there, and now you're paying the price. Here's the only situation that can happen. A company has to come in and buy them out from Forte, which is probably not going to happen, okay, because they're destroying the company in general, okay? This game would be a perfect game, okay, to throw on to a service. Obviously, it's a free-to-play game, so it doesn't need to be on like a Game Pass or a PlayStation Plus, but it would make sense if you did put it on there. It was just another game on there on one of these services, but you had to be picked up by either Sony or you had to be picked up by Microsoft or some other big company. But I'll tell you what, not going to happen. You know why? Because live service games are a dime a dozen. There's so many games out there that are not succeeding right now, and they're not going to take a risk on you destroying your game and then returning back to what it was, so you're done. So this has been Vagoted. Okay, it's not Vagoted yet, but in my opinion, it's been Vagoted, or it's been Concorded, whichever way you want to look at it. So Phoenix Labs, goodbye. It was nice knowing you, and don't let the door kick you on the way out of the video game space. It might be harsh, but this is what it is. I didn't sell them to a cryptocurrency. I didn't change my game for fundamentally bad. You lost half your staff, almost all your staff. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. What do you think about Dauntless? Are you one of these people that are like, I didn't care, I didn't even play the game anyway? Or are you on the other side, like me, where you felt like your time has been shit on this entire time, you love this game, but now it's done, right? Time to move on. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live stream. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our videos. Thanks for watching.